If you think Iran is all about the hot politics of the news pages, the tensions of nuclear agreements, and a dusty, rugged desert, then I must say you haven't discovered the real Iran yet. Beyond that familiar frame of the television screen, an unknown world awaits you. This country is not part of any ordinary map. It is a long, mysterious journey through time. A journey where the scenery changes with every turn. The era changes. Sometimes you will be lost in the intense hustle and bustle of the modern city, and the next moment you will feel like you are standing right in the middle of a classical story thousands of years old. Here, the present and the past walk hand in hand. This journey is not just to be seen with the eyes, but to be captured in the soul. Let us take you today to a land where stones speak, the desert sings, and the hospitality of thousands of years is hidden in the smiles of people.
Let's begin our journey from a place where history is not only written on the pages of books, but also carved into the body of stone. Kandahar, a wonderful village hidden in the folds of the Sahand Mountains in the northwest of Iran. About 10,000 years ago, these strange cone-shaped mountains were formed by the accumulation of hot volcanic ash and lava, and over hundreds of years, wind and rain have eroded them to their current form. From a distance, it looks like a huge mound, but when you get closer, you will realize that people have woven the story of life here by conquering this roughness of nature. Walking along this rugged path will feel like you have entered the pages of an ancient fairy tale. Small wooden doors, rough stone walls. The biggest feature of these houses is that neither the severe cold nor the scorching heat outside can penetrate these rocky walls. Nature is not the enemy of humans here, but rather a great friend. Even today, hundreds of families live in these cave houses. The sound of the bells of their sheep and the smell of fresh bread baking in the oven will remind you of how simple, how beautiful life can be.
Leaving the coolness of the mountains, this time our destination is a desert where you will feel like you are not in any familiar land on Earth, but have come to a different planet. Dashti Lut, or Lut Desert, not only in its vastness, but also in its extremes. It is one of the most terrifying places on Earth. According to NASA satellite data, the temperature of the ground on the Black Stone Plateau, called Gandum Berean, or burnt wheat, sometimes exceeds 70 degrees Celsius, or 159 degrees Fahrenheit. The air here is like a flame of fire. As far as the eye can see, there is only strange formations of sand and stone. But the amazing thing is that it is in this harsh environment that nature has painted its best canvas. The greatest wonder of Lut is its kaluts, or yardangs. These long, jagged stone walls, formed by the intense erosion of the wind over thousands of years, look like the ruins of a lost ancient city from a distance, as if an entire city had been turned to stone by some curse. When the golden light falls on the grooves of these kaluts at sunrise, it feels like you are standing in the kingdom of a magical magician. And when evening falls, the entire scene changes to red, orange, and deep shadows. The night sky of Lut is another wonder. When you look at the sky at night in this desert, which is uninhabited for miles, you will feel like you can touch the stars of the galaxy with your hand. It is impossible to understand how heavy and beautiful silence can be without coming to the Lut Desert. Leaving the silence of the desert behind you, you stand at another gate in time, Persepolis, the capital of the ancient Persian Empire. It is not just a place name, it is a symbol of its once great power, glory, and arrogance. The foundation stone of this city was laid by the great Darius I in 518 BC. This is the place where half of the world's wealth was once controlled. As you enter through the gate of all nations, the giant winged bull statues still stare back at you. Notice the towering columns, the fragments of the palace, and the intricate carvings on the stonework. The rows of envoys from Ethiopia, Egypt, and India, who once came here to pay their respects to the king. Their figures carved into the stone as if they were still alive. Today, there is only broken stone and the howling of the wind. This pride was burned to ashes by the fire of Alexander the Great in 330 BC. As you slowly walk through the Apadana Palace, feeling the cool touch of the stone, you will feel that this place is not completely silent. These ruins are speaking very slowly, very deeply. The wind of Persepolis whispers an eternal truth of the rise and fall of power.
With a heavy breath of history, we will now reach Keshem Island,
nestled between the blue waters of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. It is not just an island. It is like a living geological museum. Nature here has practiced art at its own whim for centuries. Here, you can enter one of the longest salt caves in the world, Namakdan. The cool air, white sparkling walls, and strange echoes inside the cave will transport you to a world where time seems to have frozen. Then, there is the Valley of Stars. The rocks are cut and curved in such a way that it looks as if something fell from the sky and shattered this place. Locals believe that stars fell here in ancient times. Science says that this is just the result of thousands of years of erosion by wind and rain. But when you stand in the middle of this valley, listening to the strange whistling sound of the wind, it seems that there is much more to the world than explanation. Iran cannot be measured by its nature or ruins alone. It must be understood through its people, through its city. Tehran, the beating heart of the country, a bustling, never-tiring city built in the shadow of the Alborz Mountains. Modern high-rise buildings, metro rail on one side, and ancient architecture like the Grand Bazaar or the Rose Palace on the other. This city is not just a capital, it is a rhythm where millions of people live their dreams and struggles. When you reach Yazd after the hustle and bustle of Tehran, it will seem as if someone has stopped time with a magic wand. This city, built on the edge of the desert, is all clay-colored. The narrow streets and the wind catchers, or wind-catching towers that raise their heads towards the sky, prove how advanced the engineering of ancient Iranians was. There is a stillness in the air in this city. If you walk here, you will not be in a hurry. Then, the journey will take you to Isfahan, a city that Iranians lovingly call Nasf-e Jahan, or half the world. Here, beauty does not strike the eye, but slowly settles in the soul. Standing in the vast Nakhche-Jahan Square, you will understand why this city is called one of the most beautiful cities in the world. The magnificent mosques with blue tiles, the subtle play of light and shadow, and the ancient Kaju Bridge built over the Zayandarud River. When the locals sit under the arches of the Kaju Bridge in the evening and sing ancient Persian poems, the melody will touch your heart.
If you thought Iran was only a land of golden deserts, sun-baked clay, and arid mountains, then prepare to have your illusions shattered. Heading north towards the shores of the Caspian Sea, we enter the provinces of Gilan and Mazandaran. This is Iran's Emerald Vale. Here, the air is thick with moisture and the scent of rain-soaked earth. The Alborz mountain range acts as a giant wall, trapping the clouds rolling in from the Caspian Sea and pouring life-giving rain over these valleys. These are the Hyrcanian forests, ancient woodlands that date back tens of millions of years, surviving the Ice Age that wiped out forests across Europe. Life here moves to a different rhythm. It is woven into the fishing nets cast into the Caspian and steeped in the dark, fragrant tea grown on the foggy hillsides of Lahijan. The food, heavily flavored with garlic, pomegranate molasses, and fresh herbs, speaks of the region's boundless fertility. Standing in these misty forests, surrounded by a chorus of birds and the gentle patter of rain, you will see a side of the Middle East that defies every stereotype.
No journey through time can be complete without surrendering to the poetry of this land. We travel south to Shiraz, the city of nightingales, gardens, and love. Shiraz is not merely a geographic location, it is the romantic soul of Iran. If you want to understand the heart of an Iranian, you must look to their poets. In the center of Shiraz lies the tomb of Hafez, the 14th century mystic poet. For Iranians, Hafez is not just a historical figure, he is a confidant, an oracle, and a friend. You will see people running their fingers over his marble tombstone, closing their eyes and whispering his verses as if praying. They come here to seek guidance for a broken heart, a new marriage, or a long journey. Shiraz is also the city of the Persian garden, an earthly representation of paradise. Behind high mud brick walls, you will find sanctuaries of symmetry, flowing water, and the scent of orange blossoms. In the shade of the towering cypress trees, time slows to a crawl, and the chaos of the outside world simply melts away. Before our journey comes to an end, we must look at how the people of this land record their stories, not on paper, but in threads of silk and wool. The Persian carpet is perhaps the greatest ambassador of Iranian culture to the world. But to see a carpet only as a floor covering is to miss its magic entirely. Each rug is a universe woven by hand. A single masterpiece from cities like Tabriz, Kashan, or Isfahan can take a family of weavers years to complete, tying millions of microscopic knots. The patterns you see, the intricate medallions, the sprawling vines, the hidden birds and flowers are the weaver's dreams and memories made physical. They are nomadic tales, garden blueprints, and Sufi philosophies woven into a canvas of wool. When you touch a Persian carpet, you are touching years of human patience, a silent language passed down from mother to daughter over countless generations. After traversing ancient ruins, magical deserts, misty mountains, and cities that sing with poetry, you will realize that this entire journey was not just about changing places, it was about going through a feeling. Iranians have a tradition they call taraf. It is much more than hospitality. It is an ancient, elaborate art of showing absolute respect to others. When a stranger on the street offers you a cup of red tea with genuine warmth, or a shopkeeper invites you to share their modest lunch, you realize the profound difference between the Iran you read about in the headlines and the real Iran that beats with a warm, human heart. This country teaches you that the most beautiful things are not always easy to see. Sometimes they are hidden in the ruins of thousands of years, sometimes in the deafening silence of the desert, and very often in the sincere smiles of strangers. When all these things come together, Iran ceases to be just a place on a map. It becomes a story, an experience, a feeling that once it enters your soul will never be erased.